Hey everyone, your old pal Navek is back. It's been a while. I took a bit of a hiatus. It's due to a couple of factors in my real life and some happening on this platform. But I've officially decided to come back to doing comic reviews. Or rather, or change it up a bit. As some of you know down out south from some of my reviews of individual issues, it can be hard to just keep talking about stuff issue to issue, especially if it's mostly the same stuff I'm talking about. So I figured to kind of do what's both a continuation of Navek's comic reviews, but also a rebranding. Welcome to Sequential Summaries by Navek, where I give you an overall discussion about a complete story arc in any ongoing comic I happen to be following, and not just comics from Marvel, DC, Image, Oni Press, and all that stuff, but also some mangas that I plan on covering when they launch next year, through their official English volume releases. So yeah, let's get started with our first video in this new series, Absolute Wonder Woman issue 13 to 14, The Price. Nice. And this two-parter theme is all about balance. It's how there has to be a yin and yang to everything. And yeah, we'll just see that going through with what's going on in the issue. And I do want to mention that the guest artist for this two-part is Matthias Bergara. All right, and I'll say this: their artwork is definitely a bit more cartoonish in places, as in terms of how the characters are designed and their expressions. However, I do think it actually does fit the whole Greco-Roman, Greek painting aesthetic the series has had going on for its run. And aside from that, from one story arc, and their combat, and yeah, like I said, their artwork is a bit more cartoonish than Hayden Sherman's art, but as always, Jordi Belaire's coloring matches the artwork to make it look absolutely gorgeous. And of course, in some pages, Matthias Bergara actually makes Diana look badass, threatening, and just covering all her emotions. But what's the actual story about? Well, basically, like I said, this arc has to do with counterbalance, and reactions, and how every action has a reaction. In this case, Diana comes across a mysterious being that we will later learn is basically a counterbalance to her very presence on Earth and the magic she's been casting. And when Diana fights against the creature, it brings out her more aggressive side, her anger, her battle lust. That's all that stuff that Diana doesn't really like about herself. And throughout these issues, and yeah, interspliced with Diana going to fight the creature, stopping its path of destruction here and there. The rest of the crew, Gia, Etta, Barbara, they're basically researching in the Amazons, learning about the various sites where they did battle on recorded history. And of course, they soon come to realize that this creature is actually attacking in places where Amazons were supposedly did battle. Oh, and through the end of the last issue, we Diana learns something that kind of is similar to what Marvel does with their magic, starting from Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange run all those years ago. Every magic has a price that comes with it. And as Diana learns, this creature is basically a dark reflection of her magic, bringing out the worst in her and essentially acting as a counterbalance. That's, like I said, that's the main theme of this story arc, and the ending of issue 13. You can even spells that out much with next, equal, and opposite. And yeah, issue 14 kind of continues that, but it also serves, and after Diana's has another fight with the creature, but it also serves as kind of a semi-official introduction into Absolute Zatanna, though of course in previous issues we did see that she is working for Veronica Cale. And yeah, Zatanna just speaks entirely backwards in this run, but yeah, you can kind of guess based on how the sentences are structured, she's overall saying to Diana, even as she enchants her with something, which no doubt that's set up for a future arc. And also, I gotta say that Absolute Zatanna is kind of rocking in the whole like 90s badass biker babe that the mainstream Wonder Woman actually did rock for a bit. But it's one of her most like controversial comic costumes. So yeah, neat little reference there. But of course, Diana comes to realize, I says, thanks to a conversation with some of her buddies, that the world is broken and there needs to be a reaction to it. Diana seems to be that reaction. Though if she's fighting against the darkness, then why would the Earth like create a counterbalance to that? And so Diana decides to basically settle this in the most Wonder Woman way possible. Well, when the creature fights her, she willingly lets herself get injured, or as part of a ritual to give her an audience with Gaia, the literal spirit and embodiment of the Earth. Submitting to it and showing that Diana and why Diana is kind of the big paragon of this universe. She's not just a badass battle witch; she's humble, and also willing to have an audience with someone, which in this case includes Gaia, who is very otherworldly in their depiction. And especially love the fact that unlike Diana and the other characters, Gaia doesn't speak in like word balloons, kind of showing that they are above of regular or mortals or even demi-mortals like Diana. And Diana basically tells Gaia she's been tricked to counterbalancing her existence, because Diana is a counterbalance to all the evil going on in the world that Gaia hasn't been able to see, because, Gaia's so vast that they kind of ignored the smaller or cruelties happening in the world. We see references to Absolute Batman and an Absolute Superman, and of course some of the more general destruction happening that kind of reflects a lot of the shitty stuff happening in our world. So yeah, Diana solves this problem not through violence but through diplomacy, which that's not the most Wonder Woman thing any version of Diana can do. I don't know what is. So Gaia agrees to dismantle the creature and basically not create counter magic to Diana's own. But Diana's compassion even shows for this creature, or with this last bit of narration. I hope that is right, and whenever it was, it will be at peace for being disassembled. But no thing likes to be unmade. After that bit of a dour note, Diana goes back to the Heron. Aaron has a bit of a conversation with Steve, references some of the other Absolute books. Speaking of other Absolute books, issue 14 ends with a news broadcast showing the Mark of Hecate in Gotham City, setting up a crossover with Absolute Batman, which, that's going to be really exciting to cover. So, I'll cover that crossover when that's out in its entirety. And that's basically how this series is going throughout. I'm not covering individual issues unless it's a one-shot. And when I do cover a story, it's going to be covering the entire story, or every single issue, which, I think that'll make for a better video viewing experience and giving you, the audience, the overall full picture of the story and my thoughts on it. As for this arc, it's absolute Wonder Woman. And there's a reason in this series won an Eisner Award, and that incredible quality hasn't gone down in the last few months. I'm giving this arc a 5 out of 5. I'd go check this out. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.